Hello everyone, welcome to the free beginner course with Mercy, and today it's going to be a very short lesson because we're going to just be talking about the boring stuff, which is the history of fashion and the history of sewing in the world, the history of sewing in Nigeria and Africa at large. It's just going to be I'm going to keep it very short, and I feel like it's something that we need to know about because fashion is very versatile. I mean, even if the world ends, you see, catering, food and fashion, I am very sure that it will actually never go out of business. So if you are planning to turn your sewing skills, your fashion skills into a business, please do. It is very lucrative. It is currently a billion-dollar industry. So do not look down on sewing like it's just a little craft that they do. My aunt does it once in a while. Sewing is a very huge fashion. I mean, I don't even know why I need to be telling us this, but it is something that ourselves can tap into. It's not just for the big guys. Even so-called small people like us can tap into the vastness of the fashion industry. So today, you know me, I'm not going to pretend that I'm saying all of this from my head. I just want us to talk about a brief history of fashion. You see, fashion is as old as human beings. Human beings are literally like the beginning of the world. And fashion is as old as all. Fashion started with people sewing leaves to cover their body. Fashion was basically to cover nakedness. And see what fashion has evolved into. Look at my dress. Fashion is not just about clothing yourself. Fashion is an identity. Fashion is a culture. Fashion is an expression of yourself. It's an expression of your identity. Fashion is literally your language, the language you speak of who you are within. So fashion is just beyond stitching and joining and tacking clothes together. Fashion literally speaks a language. So let's talk about the history of sewing real quick. The word sew comes from Old English, right? The first set of English. If you're an English student like me, you know a lot about Old English, Middle English, Modern. Okay, that's just by the way. So the word sew comes from the Old English. So you see that it has gone through so many centuries, so many generations, and the word sew still stands. And the first sewing machine was invented in 1790 by Thomas Saint, and it was made affordable to the general population by Isaac Singer in 1851. So let's thank Isaac Singer. Of course, many of us know that Singer machines still exist. Obviously, it would not be the first ever. I don't think, this is just by the way, but I don't think that many of us would even be able to operate the first sets of sewing machines that were ever manufactured or that were ever produced, because those things, if you see them, you need to just take a quick break, maybe 30 minutes, and do a brief research on how sewing machines looked before. It is so fascinating, so interesting. I know I called it boring. If you actually just take a look at what it looks like, I'm sure that you'll be interested in it, especially in Nigeria. I know that Nigeria is making waves all over the world right now. We have so much cultural attachment to our outfits. I know if you have been following my journey here, you see many of the outfits I've created. I have created from the Ashoke. I've created the Ashoke from the Yoruba tribe. I've created the Akwete from the Igbo tribe, and I'm soon going to create the Saki from the Hausa tribe very soon, fingers crossed. And it is so interesting to see the connection to culture, the way fabrics, the way our outfits connect us to culture, and the way we can even modernize such things to turn them into things that are everyday outfits. I wish I had thought about it earlier. I would have probably worn one of those ashokes or one of those cultural outfits to properly elaborate what I'm trying to talk about. Before sewing machine came into Africa, before it came into Nigeria, we had woven fabrics. Fabrics that are hand woven. You need to see these things. You need to watch documentaries on these things. They are so interesting. It literally involves that's actually what makes the difference between fabrics that look like this and woven fabrics like Ashoke or Akwete. They're literally, most of them are hand woven. And you need to see the way they do these things. They take long threads, long rope, roll it, and then they start creating beautiful patterns, beautiful designs, interweaving colors. That's the modern that is the modern ashokes. But in the olden days, we just had them in very limited colors that were naturally, natural color dyes that were available then, not artificial colors now that we can generate such beautiful colors. Then we're probably just limited to indigo dyes, that is the dark purple, and some other natural colors. And it is amazing how human beings were able to come up with this color even when we thought in quotes that they were not civilized. So I will just use this opportunity to urge you to just take a brief look at the history of fashion, the history of sewing in your culture, and just take a look at it so that it can give you a little bit of ginger, a little bit of interest in the journey you're about to go into. I'll just implore you to take it one step at a time. So now I'm going to talk about two things. The first one is the community. In the previous video, I said that if I get 20 people who show interest, I'm definitely going to open up the community. And it seems like I've had a number of people show interest. So we are going to be working on that. And before the end, before the fourth or fifth video is uploaded, we are going to make announcements concerning that. Now, the second thing I want you to do is that in our next video, we are going to start practical. So it's not just me coming to come and talk to the camera. We're going to start learning about the sewing machines, the parts of the sewing machine, the types of sewing machines, how to thread your sewing machines. So if you don't have a sewing machine yet, please go and get a machine, so that as you are watching the video, you can follow along, you can learn the names of these things, and it will be easy for you. We learn by doing. If you enjoyed this video so far, please like the video, leave a comment. If you know that this is the first video that you are coming across and you'll be interested in joining the paid community, please indicate in the comment section. I'm so excited to be doing this with you guys. I hope my excitement shows through the camera. See you guys in the next video. Bye.